It is the year of our Lord 2012. You have just returned from an exhausting day of mouth breathing and maladaptive daydreaming at school. You turn on your crusty laptop, littered with a variety of crumbs, and you begin to consume.
Hey guys! I'm super skinny upper middle class girl number 5 that you live vicariously through, and today I'm gonna be doing a cute little date night makeup look, which will be totally useless for you because nobody's ever even gonna look your way until college. Sorry, I don't know what that was. That was so random. Hello cake pops and flip-flops. I'm going to be showing you my outfits of the week, many of which you will never fully replicate because you have crippling insecurities, and or your mum will yell at you for walking out of the house dressed like a tart. I feel seen.
Video after video, you're lulled into a vortex of Vanilla Yankee Candle and copyright-free iMovie background music. You don't realize in those moments, this is the last gasping breath of your childhood, and it is sublime. The Phan Barbie transformation tutorial changed my life. Okay, I am being dramatic, but still. Few videos are able to lull me into such a deep state of comfort and relaxation. It just scratches that sweet spot in my brain that's at the intersection of nostalgia and the color pink. Seriously, this video is like a visual sedative. Watching her earliest YouTube upload is particularly jarring. Did she know just how iconic, just how trailblazing this would be? It feels like witnessing a Mesopotamian carve the first wheel. But then I thought, wait, what happened to her again? Matter of fact, what happened to all of those 2010's beauty/lifestyle creators? I feel like one of them is dead. Don't say that. So I did some digging. And I mean, I have time. I'm a content creator, which is one step above unemployed, but less dignified. Now, disclaimer. I am not an investigative journalist, okay? Don't let these glasses fool you. I only wear them to give off the impression that I'm an intellectual. Also because I am practically blind. I tried my best to get information that is accurate. But if I do happen to say something that you know is wrong, or it's just missing some context, just please let me know in the comment section down below because I don't want to be spreading any misinformation about a person. Also, let me know, who were the girlies that you were watching during this time period? Comment them down below. Let's see if they're on this list. Am I trying to shamelessly get some more engagement? Absolutely. Without further ado, here's what happened to them. I'm such a talented writer. First up, we got the blueprint herself, Phan. In 2007, the year of Soldier Boy, Michelle uploaded her first video to YouTube, which at that point was a 240 pixel gulag. It wasn't until she uploaded her Lady Gaga-inspired makeup tutorials that her channel really blew up. The seductive vampire one in particular had a chokehold on me. Did I ever attempt these looks? Of course not. That was not the point of watching these videos. 2010 to 2015 was her #girlboss era. I say that unironically because this was before the phrase got think-pieced to death during the 47th and a half wave of feminism, which I think is just essentially repackaged patriarchy, but now you can be trans. She began working with Lancôme. She launched MyGlam, a monthly subscription service in 2011, which later rebranded to Ipsy, and founded M Cosmetics under L'Oreal in 2013. I even remember her NYC vlog where she visited their headquarters, featuring her cute boyfriend who was like European or Canadian, I don't know, something exotic. In 2015, she bought her shares of M from L'Oreal, and in 2017, she sold her shares in Ipsy for an alleged $35 million. Now, remember that detail, okay? Her brand at its peak was valued around $500 million. Now, Michelle's first hiatus was in 2016. During summer of 2017, she uploaded the video Why I Left, in which she confesses that aspects of her online success had massive negative impacts on her mental health, in addition to dealing with some major lawsuits. So she understandably took a break and booked it to Switzerland. She would sporadically upload on her channel for the next few years. Similar to every other creator on this list, it was during the late 2010s that I, and you probably, stopped keeping up with Phan and her OG beauty/lifestyle influencer contemporaries. Now, I would occasionally get curious about her, and because I had no life, I would look her up. Oh, a new Thanksgiving vlog. Why is that door so big? Now, things didn't start to get strange until about 2020, when she got into some hot water for claiming that a mixture of essential oils would kill the virus that shall not be named before it entered your system. Okay. During 2021, truly the year of the crypto scammer and the visual abominations that were NFTs, Michelle got some flack for posting regularly about Bitcoin. To be fair, she was actually an early adopter of crypto, even tweeting about investing in Bitcoin and Ethereum in 2018, but 2021 is when she became more evangelical about it. Now, if you were like me, around this time, you were hearing whispers here and there about Phan joining a And I thought, did she get an Equinox membership or something? During a series of Instagram stories in 2022, Michelle claimed that she had healed a man who was in a wheelchair for years. This is the screenshot that I distinctly remember. I just assumed that most rich people in LA are perpetually in a state of light psychosis, so I didn't think much of it at the time. Apparently, these posts came after a meditation retreat hosted by Dr. Joe Dispenza, which Phan states consisted of only sleeping 4 hours a day, meditating for 5 hours straight, no breaks, not even to tinkle or drop the kids off at the pool, and learning science for 2 hours. 5 a.m. intentional meditation, focusing on activating our bodies to the quantum field. Let's frickin' go. Okay. Many people's alarms were going off. Now, I just assumed that this Dr. Dispenza was some fringe leader. No, he's fairly mainstream. Dispenza is a trained chiropractor who began his spiritual journey after a horrible accident which doctors told him would permanently damage his spine. Despite this, Dispenza claims that he was able to reprogram his brain and heal himself by, quote, reconstructing his spine in his mind, vertebrae by vertebrae. Much of his public speaking and philosophy has to do with the mind over body approach. A lot of manifestation, meditation, overcoming the limitations of your mind. Most of his mainstream content consists of this. The more controversial aspects of his philosophy have to do with his claims of spontaneous remission, which is healing medical conditions, including terminal and irreversible ones, miraculously. Now, faith healers are not anything new.
We've seen it's grow. We've seen arms and legs that stop growing because the growth cells that stop. Mandada basata. I don't make this stuff up.
However, Dispenza's approach is more of like a new age quantum physics, allegedly teaching people how to tap into the quantum field and restructure reality. I am assuming this is what they're learning in those 2 hours of science class. According to people who have actually attended one of his retreats, some of which can cost upwards of $2,000, there are 3-day periods in which groups will engage in coherence healings, where the most sick individuals, who are hand-selected by Dispenza's team ahead of time, are surrounded and have healing energy directed towards them. Assumedly, this is what Phan was talking about when she claimed to have healed a man in a wheelchair. There is no way of verifying any of these claims. Do not get me wrong. I do not blame people, especially chronically ill individuals, for not wanting to be lifelong medical patients or seeking a natural alternative, considering that the medical industry, and Big Pharma in particular, do have a vested interest in keeping people sick. I believe that prayer, meditation, positive thinking can result in improvements to people's lives. But so often these healers, besides making very dubious scientific claims, take advantage of incredibly physically and emotionally vulnerable people while asking them to fork over a check. Obviously, Michelle's fans became increasingly concerned, especially considering how she'd been open about her struggles with mental health into them earlier. But I knew y'all wanted to hear about the stuff first. Don't lie to me. I know you did. But what a doozy. In 2014, she got sued by Ultra Records for copyright infringement, not by the artists themselves, the record company. They claimed that her usage of their artist's music caused substantial and irreparable injury, which is why we will be demanding $150,000. Total? No. Per infringement. How many infringements are there? 50. What? For now. So how much is that total? 15 million. Wait, no, that's 7.5 million. Oh, my sweet summer child. Ultra Records and our publishing arm, Ultra International Music Publishing, can both make separate claims on the same songs because the copyrights are divided between the two companies, which means that we can legally double the amount that we're demanding. When I tell you that record companies are the devil, they settled out of court, so I don't know what the end result of this was. This experience inspired Michelle to invest in Thematic, a free peer-to-peer music marketplace that seeks to help content creators find music for their videos while concurrently promoting aspiring musicians. She also got screwed by her former lawyer, Michael Avenatti, who you might remember as being Stormy Daniels' attorney, who wine moms that exclusively watch MSNBC and Shonda Rhimes shows would lust after. In 2022, he was sentenced to 14 years in federal prison for multiple fraud convictions. Remember when I mentioned her selling her Ipsy shares? Well, Avenatti allegedly stole $4 million from Phan after that sale. Now, what Michelle chooses to do with her life is her business, but I can understand why fans are concerned, and I hope that she's doing well. Regarding the lawsuits, when I was doing research—
You mean Google and Reddit?
Shut up! I could only find information pertaining to the Ultra Records situation. It was thanks to the channel Spill that I heard about the Avenatti lawsuit, and credit to the channel Uncle Herman because it was through him that I first learned about Michelle's crypto tangent, which then allowed me to do my own research on the two topics. So thank you to Spill and Uncle Herman. If you want more in-depth information on Michelle's life and some of her other scandals, which I do not have enough time to get into. Please check out their videos. I will link everything down below. Moving on to my not-so-guilty pleasure. Teala Dunn. A former child actor from Jersey, Teala started out making haul videos in 2012. Now, I am not proud to admit this, but my friend and I used to cringe watch her as teens.
Before you start dating them.
We already
And this is despite being crustier, poorer, and lonelier than her at the time, also currently. Her early videos are an absolute time capsule of 2012 quirky XD culture. Gosh, the Tumblr aesthetic, these n***s. Was it kind of cringe? Yeah, but they were kids. I probably would have acted like this too if I was making 2011 room tours, in between updating my delusional dream life Pinterest board. Now they're oddly comforting to watch. I can practically smell the probably carcinogenic Bath & Body Works or Victoria's Secret's fragrances emanating from this video. Teala's content was the standard beauty girly package: makeup, hair, clothes, which then evolved into relatable sketches, relationship videos. She became infamous for her boyfriend/kissing content.
You guys dared us to make out for 10 seconds, but I did that last time, so we're gonna do 20.
Keep your hands on me and take it off, and then I'm gonna show you how to break it off. Yeah. I don't remember the rest of the lyrics, but it's an Ariana Grande song.
Girl, we know you wrote that comment. This exclusively lily white roster of menfolk plucked out of a 1950s country club got Teala a lot of criticism.
What do they say? Called white man's.
This is also a condition that I am recovering from. I'm sorry. I can't. Her common white girl tag video.
First question, favorite Starbucks drink? Okay, this is like the best question in the universe because I'm a Starbucks addict.
Did not help the wannabe white allegations.
Is what I'm mixed with.
You're mixed. With what?
African American, German, French,
Black,
a little bit of
black,
Indian inside of me, Creole,
white men,
I think that's about
black,
it, but I'm mostly German and African American.
Which, by the way, put a pin in that. The girl got flack left and right. People accused her of only hanging out with other influencers for clout, which, to be fair, everyone did this to an extent. The mutualistic symbiosis of strategic collabs was huge during the mid-2010s. Her unofficial content friend group was the Savage Squad, who would post voyeuristic vlogs together. Anyway, they drifted apart, which happens, and you know, there's drama there, which I'm not gonna get into because... Hold on, let me look at my notes. Oh, that's right. I don't care. She gradually stopped uploading as frequently. The late 2010s is really when you start seeing this community have their views drop. Creators got burnt out. Their audience grew up and moved on to adult things, like playing the devil's advocate for Lana Del Rey, or developing a jewel addiction. Teala still continues to act in television and movies. She remains active on Instagram, where she seems to be living the standard LA influencer life, doing Pilates, drinking from straws, farting in the wind on yachts, crop dusting people in smaller boats. At least that's what I would do. Hold on. Yup. Those are her little brown buns. Girl, why are you posting this? She's also on TikTok, where she be dancing. Teala is also back on YouTube, and she admits that she regrets some of the relationship content that she posted in the past. Now, regarding the wannabe white accusations, this is a very loaded statement, since one, she seemed to have grown up in a white upper middle class environment, so she was probably just emulating the people around her, who were, you know, the basic white girls, no shade, because I think that aesthetic is very pleasing. At that age, I dressed like I was either postpartum or a grandma that's about to lose her 401k at a casino. So I'm not in a position to judge anyone for wearing Brandy Melville. Two, if she was faking it, perhaps it's because she thought that would help her fit in, not just in her friend group, but in the online influencer sphere, which at the time was like Hall & Oates level white. I don't think that this is ideal or recommended, but it is understandable for a young person to do this. Three, how exactly was she even meant to act black? Did y'all want her to crip walk while reciting I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings? And four, this is gonna be a bit of armchair psychology on my part, but if she was genuinely rejecting her blackness, it was probably due to internalized self-hatred, which unfortunately is not very surprising because she was one of the only black girls in that community. Looking back at this as an adult, if that was the case, this should have been responded to with sympathy, not mockery, but we were dumb teens and making Teala Dunn thinks that she's dark white jokes was just easier. Like, I'm not gonna front. I made those jokes too, but I digress. She seems to be doing well, and her kissing videos have made an ironic comeback on TikTok. I wish you well, Teala. Now, heads up, there will be mentions of and in some of the following segments. Nothing too in-depth or gory, but I will offer timestamps when they're coming up if you want to skip ahead. Moving on to Acacia Brinley. If you were on Tumblr from 2010 to 2015, you have probably seen her doing this infamous, dare I say, iconic pose. This photo is making it into textbooks. Mark my words. I'll staple them in myself if I have to. I think it belongs in the MoMA. She technically wasn't famous for being a YouTuber, but she was one of the unofficial it girls of the era, so I think she makes sense to include in this video. Thank you to the Tumblr blog Brinley Babe and Snoopy Stories on Medium, because they posted a lot of juicy info that I could not have Nancy Drew'd my way into finding. Acacia's original Tumblr handle was Let's Snuggle, and she'd post a lot of selfies on there. The first whiff of controversy came with an alleged leak of risque photos, which might have been from an ex, might have been her own doing. I'm not entirely sure. If it was the former, shame on him. If it was the latter, she was a kid who made a stupid mistake. Unfortunately, the hate that she got from that resulted in her deleting that first Tumblr blog. Her YouTube channel, Acacia Cutie, has been scrubbed clean of pretty much all of her older videos. But her first run from 2012 is still up, and it is very 2012. Man, this script is really something. Joan Didion has nothing on me. This video is giving me like PTSD flashbacks. Her bump in fame and the second whiff of controversy came in the most 2010's teeny bopper fashion, with her relationship and subsequent breakup with Sam Potteroff, who was a member of the collaborative YouTube channel O2L. Her breakup announcement video is seared into my memory.
Me and Sam broke up. I still will have sad moments in the future. But for now, there is a smile on my face. I'm in my bathroom. That's where I shower. Holla. Okay. Well. Keep a smile on your faces. All your little pretty faces. Meow.
I'm going to reenact this entire video as a monologue. O2L fans speculated that she really just wanted to date Kian Lawley, who was another member of the group, and she was just using Sam for clout. Either way, R.I.P. Sam Acacia, 2012 to 2012. There was a lot of misogynistic teen girl snark in people's critiques of her at the time. She just like dates too many guys, and she like changes her style all the time. She's just copying other people that she meets. She like only became punk rock to impress 5 Seconds of Summer. Now, by the way, if you are a former 5 Seconds of Summer fan watching this, I sincerely hope that you overcame your crippling plaid shirt addiction. In 2014, she joined the group Watercolor Band and embarked on a short-lived music career that she also got clowned for.
It's a long way home at the end of the road. I'll be paving my own way to the top. I'll be here to stay, so take my name. Remember this space, keep the change and have a nice day. Live for the moment, not by the past. Only live each day like it's your last.
Look, I hate to shade someone this young, but Acacia girl, the vocals just are not there. She was in her Warped Tour era when she met Jairus Kersey, who was in a band called Alive Like Me. She was 17, he was 23. He pulled a Wilder Valderrama and claimed that they didn't actually start dating until she was 18, even though there is evidence to the contrary. At this point, being predatory is practically a prerequisite to being a guy in a band. They had their first child, Brinley, when Acacia was 19, followed by Rosemary and then Calliope. Rosemary was born with Alagille syndrome, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, which is a genetic disorder that can affect the liver, heart, and other parts of the body due to bile buildup in the liver. After she became a mother, she made a return to social media with a very cozy, sweater-wearing, granola-making vibe. This is where a lot of people began to criticize Acacia because she seemed to show preferential treatment to her first daughter. I'm gonna try and keep it concise, but she would allegedly show favoritism to Brinley by leaving Rosemary ungroomed, not dressing her properly, and then going on a family hike. And this was allegedly right after Rosemary had open heart surgery due to the medical condition that I mentioned earlier, leaving her unsupervised and not physically supporting her properly as an infant, which apparently led to their family dog accidentally stepping on her. I don't feel comfortable speculating about the details of their home life any further. Her other controversies include, of course, the unearthing of racist tweets and Instagram posts, a classic at this point. I always assume that the unearthed comments are going to be heinous, like my 2.0, the squeakquel. But they're usually just like stupid fried chicken jokes. Their bigotry doesn't even have the decency of being original. In 2020, she made an apology video after previously having deflected these comments by pointing to her younger adopted sister who happened to be black. So, you know, like, how can I be prejudiced when I don't know, share goldfish snacks with her? And she got sauteed and filleted in this comment section. In 2021, she had another social media hiatus after allegedly getting caught stealing and reselling photo editing presets created by Levin. Now, presets are a saved group of photo editing settings that can transform your edit with a click of the preset. According to Levin, Acacia purchased them and then put them up for sale as her own. Now, when Acacia came back to social media, she did post a receipt showing that she had paid the creator back in full, so I think this conflict might be resolved. Acacia and her husband Jairus divorced in December of 2022. There were rumors of him being a cheater years back, but it is hard to verify any of these claims, and she has not stated that that was the reason behind the split. She has been posting more consistently recently. She does not post her kids anymore, and she's fully embracing being single. According to her vlogs, she seems to be working part-time in food delivery and is just living a quaint life. Now, on to Glitter Forever 17, aka Breland Kent. I stumbled upon a TikTok of hers recently, and the audio got muted, but she opens the video by saying, "Here are some of the places my gay husband and I did drugs. I beg your finest pardon?" That sounded like the synopsis of a lost season of Grace and Frankie, or the upcoming season of Euphoria. Now, let's take a step back. Breland uploaded her first YouTube video in 2011. Her videos were standard makeup, hair, nails. Very Jersey, in my opinion. Even though she is from Louisiana, I choose not to believe it. She hit her stride by leaning into the neon-drenched DIY and edible insert thing that should not be edible craze that plagued 2015. However, she would then sprinkle in oddly adult-themed videos, which led to the most bizarre assortment of content on her homepage.
DIY gummy pizza.
DIY prison hacks.
Edible phone cases.
DIY hacks that can save your life. This got her a lot of criticism because she was clearly tailoring her channel towards the "you got games on your phone" contingent, especially considering how odd, disturbing, or gross some of the imagery in these videos were. There was a very Black Mirror-esque Vice mini-documentary about Breland that came out a year ago, which I highly recommend watching. Now, she claims in the doc that she'd actually created this weird DIY YouTuber as a character, and that she was deliberately trying to farm rage comments for engagement. In 2017, she got married to Slava Adviv, who is a former Slavic boy band member. That's a lie, but I can see it.
Slava came into the picture and I announced that we were in a relationship. People did not like him. He was not well received, mostly because they knew that I had cheated on my fiance at the time with Slava, and they really liked my previous fiance.
People's response to this relationship was, well, looks like Russian LaRue needs a green card. Also, girl, are you sure this is your man? And to be fair, they were correct. Now you might be thinking, okay, well they got divorced, right? I will let him explain their dynamic.
I'm gay, but I have a wife. Here she is, Glitter Forever 17 on YouTube, and that's me. What if you meet a guy who wants to marry you? What happens with your wife? Let's talk about it. Up until recently, we were your typical straight couple. You know, I had the cat. But then the whole gay thing came up, and I came out, and now we're in a relationship, but it's not a romantic relationship. We just decided to stay together because we're both lonely and we love each other, just in a very different way. Like, we're just together as a family, as in like a brother and sister that used to mess with each other, which is kind of like Alabama-ish or Louisiana-ish, which is where Breland's from, so it makes sense. Highly unlikely, but if it happens, well, it happens. We are just gonna get a divorce. And when it comes to Breland, it's the exact same thing. If she meets somebody one day, great, we're gonna get a divorce. But obviously that MF is gonna have to deal with me because we're always gonna be a family. I will always be here, baby.
Slava is also a comrade, apparently. Da svidanya. At the peak of her career, she claims that she was making $50K a month. But in a familiar tale, she began living beyond her means and money dried up. Her house got foreclosed on, and she started an OF to maintain her lifestyle. She started taking at the time, like $50,000 worth. She got accused of faking mental illness for views, which she denies, and frankly, I don't think that she was faking it. Breland has since moved back to Louisiana with her parents, and she started uploading to YouTube again, though her content is even more explicit now. But there doesn't seem to be much interest. Her career trajectory is really an A24 film in the making. Despite all of her controversies, my heart goes out to her. The algorithm is all-consuming and unforgiving. God bless you, Glitter Forever 17. You'll always be glittery in our hearts. Okay. Mylifeaseva, aka Eva Gutowski. Her first video was uploaded in 2012, with her channel consisting of the standard hauls, makeup, hair, and styling videos. Doc Martens. Boots for people understandably disgusted by physical labor. She hit her stride with the 2015 era of relatable content about being a girl versus a boy or high school. Man, I used to gobble up these videos when I was a kid. And no shade, but they are what I refer to as
I do that.
Content. She then dropped the most iconic YouTuber song.
Literally, my life is beaches every single night, messy buns and Christmas lights. Literally, my life is skinny waisted high fashion, riding in a Jeep wagon. Literally, my life is.
Sometimes I'll hear the lyrics randomly and think, this is the end. Literally, my life was tween girl culture. Was it kind of cringe? Yes, but the best things in life are. I unironically like it now. She had successful collabs with cutesy paragons of non-threatening masculinity, Brent Rivera, who she did actually go on to date, and Weekly Chris, real name Christian Collins, who was very well-meaning, but he did make this infamous Vine, which I cannot watch without becoming uncomfortable.
Just wish things would get better. I'm trying to get rid of them, but nothing seems to stay the same.
You know what? Considering how much cringy stuff I've posted online, I don't have any room to speak. You know, at least he was a kid. My prefrontal cortex was fully developed when I posted this. I was curious as to what happened to him. Oh, Chris. No, you will not drag me back to the sunken place, Yakubian. He's apparently a mechanical engineer who attended Stanford. Okay, go on, Chris. Okay, back to regular programming. Eva was raking in views at this time. In 2017, she made a departure from her usual upbeat content and created a short film discussing her essay, which was quite a jarring rewatch, but it was met with a lot of support from her followers. The same year, she starred in the YouTube Red original Me and My Grandma alongside Rhea Perlman.
Take a look at you and me. You chose books. I chose looks.
By the way, Eva is half Polish, hence the last name, and I distinctly remember there being this weird discourse, it was just people like tweeting and commenting, about her only claiming her Polish side, which is already a loaded statement, but I cannot find any evidence of people talking about this online. Do you remember what I'm talking about? Am I crazy? In 2019, she starred in the series How to Survive a Breakup on the channel Awesomeness, which used to showcase the most bubblegum kids content, and oh my gosh, Jacob Sartorius, what are you doing here? But they'd still dabble in that
hee, we know kids will click on this when their parents aren't looking
kind of clickbait content. Oh my gosh, Teala? Shauna?
You is smart, you is kind, you is important.
Really? Hell no!
Man, this channel is a time capsule. Now their most popular uploads are videos like, vaping took everything. Vaping took my freedom. I mean, yes, vape bad, but more importantly, vape embarrassing. But, I mean, talk about tonal whiplash. Her vlog channel was created in 2017 and really showcases her evolution as a director and cinematographer. In 2022, she uploaded the video, I Quit Being a YouTuber.
I don't want to act anymore like I'm this YouTuber from 2015, like I'm just not. And even if that might like get views and be sensational content and be like really quickly edited and really funny, it's time for a change.
She dabbles in music under the stage name Marisol, which is her middle name, and she DJs. A lot of her music is mostly EDM, which, I mean, checks out. I like it. It's very swaying in a chic club in Tribeca, sipping on a vodka Red Bull through a tiny straw. It's fine, it's keto. She moved to New York City from LA in 2023 with her giant Norwegian boyfriend Olaf. Her more recent videos are a lot cozier, more relaxed, more artsy. Etsy. She's also talked about getting some tweaks done. New nose alert. She is in her bleached brow bob haircut era. Her Instagram content is very fashion focused, very New York. I don't know why I did a French accent for that. She's modeling, she's collaborating with high fashion brands. Eva is 30 now, and she seems to have found her aesthetic and her little corner of the sky. Literally, my life is, oh my gosh, I don't know what came over me. Dope2111, aka Promise Phan. This girl was the Halloween/costume makeup tutorial girly, including many a celebrity. Twitter is not gonna like that one. Her Taylor Swift one in particular is so creepy. This is borderline shapeshifting. I feel like she's gonna crawl out of the screen and tell me to buy Speak Now on vinyl. Promise uploaded her first video to YouTube in 2010 in full avatar makeup. Her first tutorial was a Natari transformation. If you haven't watched the film, she's the woman. She is married to Michelle Phan's brother, hence the same last name, and they would collab together occasionally. Her videos were so relaxing to watch when I was younger. They were the first glimpse I had into how truly transformative makeup could be. Now I could commit identity theft. She created her second channel, Promise Phan, in 2012, which featured more challenge and family-related content. Her most popular videos on her main page, though, tended to be Disney-related. To think that it was thanks to iPad babies that she was able to make a down payment on her house, I'm jealous. The only controversy around her at the time was due to some of her transformations being, well, technically black. In her 2018 Zofia transformation video, Zofia is a white singer from the show The Four, more like The What. Thank you. I'm here all week. The girl has dreads, so during the video, Promise wore a dreadlock wig from the Wheezy collection. I'm just kidding. She actually scalped that man from Glee. This prompted accusations of cultural appropriation, but there wasn't really much of an uproar. By 2019, her views steadily began to decline. Still doing well, but not pulling the numbers that she used to, which, you know, happens. By 2020, she was barely uploading. In 2021, she uploads a video. My secret is finally out. You're not really Asian, are you?
So I have, after 10 years, finally did a collab with a brand. Guys, I did a collab with Pixie Beauty.
Oh. She stopped uploading to her second channel altogether in 2021. After struggling with fertility issues for over a decade, she was finally able to get pregnant. And now she has a beautiful little boy named Cairo, who was born in 2021. In 2024, her family had to move after their roof caved in due to the tropical storm Hillary. Her Instagram has been inactive since 2016, besides the one post announcing her Pixie collab. I assume she's just taking a step back to focus on her son. AndreasChoice, aka Andrea D. Brooks. Andrea's first YouTube video was uploaded in 2009. I was introduced to her via her DIY Galaxy short tutorial. Did I ever actually make them? No. Are you noticing a trend here? She used to be a teacher of disabled adults, but once that YouTube money came in, she said, sayonara, Hot Wheels. Just kidding. She's not a bad person. She would never say that, but I would. She did DIY, makeup, hair, challenges, the lot. She gave off a big sister vibe, especially because, you know, she was actually old enough to be able to rent a car and wasn't a teenager like everybody else at the time. Plus, she was gorgeous. Homegirl has not uploaded a video on her channel in 5 years. She allegedly left YouTube after going through a rough mental period in her life, with YouTube just not making her happy anymore. She allegedly had a 2021 life update video, which is now deleted. I was not able to watch it, but according to people on Reddit, she was receiving comments about her eye movements being strange and her looking unstable, which is speculated to be the reason that she deleted it. Again, I could not confirm any of this. She is 38 years old now, so I assume that she just stacked her coin and wants to move on with her life. Andrea is still somewhat active on her Instagram and TikTok, and she is still gorgeous. Side note, I saw people claiming that her sister dated fellow light-skinned nuisance Drake, and that he wrote a song about her. I suppose she, or as Drake remembers her, racially ambiguous woman number 557, made quite the impression on him. I could not find any evidence supporting this, but who cares, I believe it. MacBarbie07, aka Bethany Mota. Her first video was uploaded in 2009, with her channel consisting of the quintessential teen hauls and purchases from the safe haven of many a suburbanite, Bath and Body Works. Her videos were very clearly made by a teenager, and I'm not saying that as like an insult. It's why they were so appealing. She seemed like she could be your sweet neighbor. Her content didn't really shift all that much over the years. She just incorporated more tags and challenges, some featuring ethical businessmen and prevention activist Logan Paul. In 2014, she started dabbling in music. I think it was for fun. It didn't seem that serious. In 2016, she published Make Your Mind Up, My Guide to Finding Your Style. YouTubers writing books was big at this time, but they were never like out of left field topics. Like imagine if Bethany wrote Why the Iraq War Was Justified and the sequel, We Should Reinvade. I'd read that in a heartbeat. Bethany, if you're watching this, I got your grift set up. Call me. I'm on LinkedIn. In 2017, she started dating D-Trix, who is a choreographer and YouTuber, who has won an Emmy in 2016 for Best Choreography for his work on America's Best Dance Crew. Apparently they broke up, but they got back together, and based on her Instagram posts from 2013, they still seem to be an item. Around 2018 is when her channel started to slow down. She branched out into business in 2020 by creating the jewelry line Atom and Matter. In 2021, she joined the cast of the elaborate humiliation ritual known as Dancing with the Stars. She came in fourth. In 2023, Mota began hosting the show Follow Me, which, according to Variety, tracked the stories of 8 aspiring influencers, including a model, personal trainer, gamer, dancer, among others, as they competed in business-themed challenges that will strengthen their brand voices. It is somehow on season 2. Bethany is on TikTok and posts to Instagram and YouTube semi-frequently. She seems content and I think is just a classic example of someone growing out of their old content. I'm glad she's doing well. Makeup by Mandy24, aka Amanda Steele. Her first upload to YouTube was in 2010 when she was 11. She posted room tours, vlogs, the classics. I think I resonated with Amanda more than the other creators just because we were the same age, which would then just make me feel unaccomplished because then I would realize, oh my gosh, we're the same age. It was her school morning routines that would gain her popularity. I remember this get ready with me for the first day of 8th grade in particular. In 2015, she briefly branched out into acting with the show Guidance on the channel Awesomeness. It was kind of a gritty show, which also starred Georgina from Gossip Girl, or as I remember her, not Hayden Panettiere from Ice Princess. She was signed to IMG Models in 2016. She uploaded a Get Ready With Me for her 17th birthday in 2018, where her outfit was a bit scandalous. And this was the straw that broke the camel's back because her style had been shifting as of late, which prompted some of her followers to state, "You've changed. You're no longer wearing Brandy Melville." She addressed the criticism in her video, "The old Amanda is dead." She beat Taylor to it.
If I would do like any sort of video that showed who I was or like being myself, and I was really excited about it, like my birthday party video, I was really excited to just do something different and show my personality and what like really happens when I'm not being recorded. And that was definitely something that people were really, really mean to me about.
In 2019, she launched her own clothing line, Steele, which I think might be on hiatus at the very least because her website does not work anymore. She's continued working in the fashion sphere, modeling during Miami Fashion Week, attending New York Fashion Week, working with Bulgari, L'Oréal Paris, Neutrogena, American Eagle, Maybelline, Marc Jacobs, Love AJ and Quay. In 2021, viewers started to notice that she looked different. In her video, What Happened to My Face, Amanda admits that she got mini FX and used fillers and got Botox for TMJ, temporomandibular disorder, or TMD, which can cause, quote, pain in your jaw joint and muscles that control jaw movement. Compared to her face now, I think that she got a few more tweaks. I mean, them cheekbones. Sharp. I think her look really fits that New York fashion scene aesthetic. Very like bumming a cigarette while wearing Mugler. Her Instagram is very fashion, very editorial. She's also in her bleached brow era. And if you are considering going for this look, look at your bone structure. Be honest, you can't pull it off. It's okay. I draw these bad boys on. If I bleached my already non-existent brows, I would look like I was going through chemo. In 2022, she announced her pregnancy with her boyfriend, Mr. World. Not Mr. Worldwide. Could you imagine Pitbull as her baby daddy? Dale. The guy is also Latino, though. His name is Francisco Escobar, and he was Mr. World 2013. They met in a club, and it was love at first sight. Some people were expressing criticism that based on how much they talked about looks in the video, that their relationship was based solely on lust and wanting to make a pretty baby, which is made even weirder by the fact that she is confirmed getting work done, and he has also allegedly had some tweaks. hey. The fact that they had only known each other for a few months before they conceived was also cause for concern. But in 2013, their baby girl Gaia was born. Amanda shared her labor and birth story, which she described as being very traumatic.
So I'm thinking like, okay, are they going to give me, they need to give me some medicine, right? Like, I know I'm about to have a C-section. I know what that means. I know it means cutting through layers and layers of your body, and that you're awake for it. So there would have to be some sort of numbing of your body to protect you from feeling all of that. But yeah, no, they didn't do anything extra for me. Just the epidural that I had. I was horrified. It was the most horrific thing ever because I could feel everything. I could feel like every like cut of like each layer, and it was like a horror movie.
And many people in the comment section realized that some medical malpractice had probably occurred. She wasn't able to see her baby for the first time right after she was born because Amanda was so heavily sedated, and because her daughter had to be whisked away immediately to the ICU because she wasn't breathing for 3 minutes after she was born, which can cause permanent brain damage. She couldn't even hold her baby for 3 days and had to meet her via FaceTime. But thank God both of them made it through that nightmare and they're both healthy. Now all seemed well. Francisco was posting with Gaia. This photo is just so Zoolander. But then Amanda filed for full custody of their daughter. The reason behind their breakup is unclear, but Amanda's sister posted this comment on one of his Instagram posts, accusing him of being a leech and a bum and mistreating Amanda. I have no idea what happened here. She still posts on YouTube semi-regularly, and her content is mostly fashion related but has shifted towards some family content. And of course, she's still active on TikTok and Instagram. Rclbeauty 101, aka Rachel Levin. She uploaded her first YouTube video in 2010. It was, again, the standard beauty and lifestyle content. Initially, she had considered shutting down her channel because other kids at her school were making fun of her, but she persevered, and she hit her stride in 2014 to 2016 with more relatable sketches about being in school, being a girl, being a sympathizer, the classics, with a sprinkle of clickbait, of course. These videos would usually feature her boyfriend at the time, Isaac. It was her Disney and superhero-themed videos, though, that were incredibly popular. Man, that costume from Party City era of YouTube was something else. By 2018, her channel had begun diversifying a bit. This was when ooky, spooky content was becoming more popular, so Rachel was making some conspiracy and haunted location-style videos. But by 2019, her channel growth had slowed down. Her most recent video series is swapping outfits with other creators, but she does not upload as consistently as she used to. Apparently, she was asked why she stopped posting, and she replied on her Snapchat that she had just ran out of ideas and that she was focusing more on her music. I couldn't find any screenshots of this, but yeah, it's an answer that makes sense. She still posts occasionally on her Instagram. She apparently got cheated on and used this opportunity to promote her song, Crumbs. I love shameless self-promo. Let's go, I'm all for it. Plus, it's a catchy song. I'll sing a copyright-free snippet of it. Crumbs, 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 you're giving me crumbs. I did not do it justice. Apparently, there was a content creator by the name of Holy Hijabi who had seen a giveaway on one of Rachel's videos, and when she submitted an application, she claims that she was rejected because of her hijab.
Last part of the story time about the influencer who rejected me because of my hijab. I was heartbroken at the time because I thought that the influencer was Rclbeauty 101. Rclbeauty 101, aka Rachel, reached out to me through Instagram DMs. Together, we were both able to figure out that it was not in fact Rachel who had messaged me all those years before, but it was actually an imposter trying to steal my information.
And so everything got cleared up. Thank you, Chicken Shawarma, for providing some context. She is 29 now and still makes music. She has a new song, I Don't Want a Boyfriend, that's out now. Still a Babe 09, aka Meredith Foster. She uploaded her first video in 2010, rewatching her morning and nighttime routines, tapped into a dormant memory from middle school. It feels like putting on a pair of warm pajamas. This like neck nerve damage pose also had such a chokehold on the teen girl population. Her channel consisted of hauls, tags, outfits of the day. This series single-handedly kept American Apparel open. Her uploads began to slow down in 2019, keeping in fashion with gradual dying down with the beauty/lifestyle community, at least for the OG crop of creators. It was around 2017 that some viewers began to notice that Meredith was looking very thin, especially in early 2019 when she seemed to have dropped a considerable amount of weight in a very short time span. And this was despite already being quite thin. She initially denied that anything was wrong, which is understandable because obviously she just wasn't comfortable talking about this topic publicly. In summer of 2019, she revealed that she had not just been struggling with an eating but thoughts, and that her had gotten so bad that she'd actually lost her period for several years and developed Hashimoto disease. Now, Meredith was raised Christian, but it wasn't until after attending a spiritual retreat in Mexico around this time that she reconnected with God. Deeply at that, with her claiming that it was her faith that helped her recover from her ED. Her subsequent content shifted and became more religious. She revealed that she was now saving herself for marriage, even talking candidly about her past experience with intimacy and her thoughts on the whole subject in episode 2 of her podcast Unfiltered Faith, which she began in 2020 with co-host Anastasia Jessica Gulko. I listened to this episode and I can only describe her podcast as the complete antithesis of Call Her Daddy.
My girlfriend of 4 years never sucks my or makes me wish I do. Cheat on her.
Despite them both speaking with the same sort of accent and inflection, which depending on who you are, might not be a bad thing. Now, of course, this is entirely her decision to make, but it did result in some pushback from individuals who were raised in purity culture and had a very negative and in some cases experience as a result of it. The real backlash began when Meredith began attending conservative conferences like Live Action, which is a pro-life organization, and expressing more right-wing beliefs, as well as not following protocol for the event that shall not be named. This is when many of her older viewers began voicing their criticism. While researching, I kept seeing people going, Meredith Foster's mom was at the January 6th insurrection. Huh? There are several Instagram stories that are posted by someone who seems to be her mother, attending the rally prior to the Capitol incident, but sadly no selfies were taken inside the building with the shaman, who still has not answered my emails. Like, I know you're out of jail now. So I couldn't confirm that this specific Instagram account belongs to her mother, but my personal opinion, I would not be shocked if it were true. There is no evidence that Meredith herself was in attendance, though. Could you imagine if her return to vlogging was a Jan 6 one? Hey guys, I'm in Nancy Pelosi's office. The thumbnail still has that hand on hip pose. A few months ago, Meredith uploaded a video with a woman named Britton Fairley, who is a crisis and trauma counselor. The video is not available in my country, which is what I would be saying if it wasn't for I'm just kidding, nobody's sponsoring this. Meredith reveals that she had experienced and that Britton is helping her through it. There are points where she does look really intensely at Britton. Like, you can tell that this individual has a lot of emotional influence over her, which prompted several of Meredith's fans to voice their concerns that Meredith had developed an unhealthy emotional dependency or attachment to Britton and could be taken advantage of or influenced. Their odd dynamic drew a lot of comparisons to Ruby Frank and Jodi Hildebrandt.
And I remember when Ruby first started getting into the connection stuff, because I was following along, and like the behaviors of stuff, how you're like, I don't know, the dynamic between Jodi and Ruby was very interesting. And I'm not trying to bash anybody or make assumptions, but I just need to know if anybody else felt that the Meredith and this lady video was strange, because I was getting such weird vibes. I need to discuss with somebody.
If you're unaware, Ruby Frank was a Mormon mommy vlogger, which should be an oxymoron, with a popular family channel, 8 Passengers, who, along with Jodi, was sentenced to 30 years in prison for in 2024. The details of which are gruesome and I will not get into right now. There's plenty of other people who have made much more detailed videos on the topic. What's important to remember is that Jodi was Ruby's life coach and allegedly had a lot of influence over her behavior, hence why she was also convicted. Now, no one is accusing Meredith or Britton of anything involving minors or generally. However, viewers just noticed that there was overlap in the way that the two pairs interacted with each other, and were just concerned that Meredith might get coerced into more fanatical or cultish behavior. Meredith responded to Jordan and McKay's video and these accusations very defensively. You can pause if you want to read this in its entirety. Now, I don't feel comfortable speculating about the behind-the-scenes dynamics of this relationship, especially if there are going to be more serious accusations made about this person, but I can understand what people mean when they describe this dynamic as being odd. Meredith is still somewhat active on her Instagram, and she still uploads episodes to her podcast. Zoella, aka Zoe Sugg. The first video on her channel was from 2011. It's a sibling tag featuring her brother Joe, who went on to create a popular YouTube channel of his own. Tags were a staple on her page, along with hauls and other beauty content. Oh, 2012. I'm missing you less and less. She seemed like a sweet woman. I had nothing against her personally, but I remember her videos had this sort of artificial brightness to them. I distinctly remember feeling like her videos were akin to staring into a snow globe, if that makes any sense. She was the ultimate British collab queen. I'm talking Marcus Butler, Sprinkle of Glitter, aka Louise Petland, Casper Lee, Miranda Sings. Ooh. I used to watch only one of these people. You guess which one. And of course, Alfie Days, aka Pointless Vlog. They were the British vlogger it couple. There is probably some 20-something-year-old out there currently working a temp job that is slowly making them understand why people become violent, who learned what love was because of these two. There really was not a period of time when her channel wasn't doing well post-2012, but she has not uploaded to her main page since 2018. She apparently broke the record for selling the most copies of a debut book, with her novel Girl Online, which was loosely based on her own online experiences, selling 78,109 copies in its first week, and becoming a New York Times #1 bestseller. Not only was this what I think actually started the trend of YouTubers writing books, but this sparked the first wave of backlash against her, because it was revealed that she had the help of a ghostwriter. By the name of Sayoban Karam. My apologies if I'm mispronouncing that name. The big controversy of her career, though, was her 2017 Advent calendar, which initially sold for £50 or $70. Fans thought that it was way overpriced because most of its contents were just cheap trinkets that you could shoplift from the dollar store. To be fair, Zoe claimed that she was not the one who set the price because this was a partnership with Boots. The reviews for this were brutal.
It's better than your traditional calendar because it's only got half of the doors for 10 times the price.
But they did eventually drop the prices. In classic fashion, some offensive tweets from 2009 to 2012 were unearthed, in which Zoe used the phrase fat chav and something about a close-up of a fatty eating a Big Mac, as well as several other transgressive remarks and slurs. Zoella apologized, but claimed that some of the tweets were taken out of context. Now, I'm sorry, but imagine Zoella, of all people, hate criming you. Night night, fatty. Her and Alfie are actually still together. They're now engaged and they have a daughter, Otley, I think that's how you pronounce it, who was born in 2021, with baby girl number 2, Novi, born in 2023. Her business ventures include founding Zoella, which is a lifestyle company, as well as co-founding Film and Template, which are photo apps. Her vlogging channel, Zoe Sugg, still brings in hundreds of thousands of views, and she's still uploading consistently on that page. The vibe is very cozy English countryside, a lot of picnics and ladybugs crawling on your pale skin while eating a strawberry, like some sort of decadent Roman empress. That's the life right there. Moving on. Niki and Gabi DeMartino. The twins actually had an older channel from 2010 called 00 Remake Girls, where they remade music videos. Let me tell you this, if my cousins and I had a decent camcorder in 2009 and I wasn't too dumb to edit, I would have had a field day with this community in the pre-copyright strike YouTube era. The videos would have been horrible, undeniably, but they would have been raw. I remember watching and liking their video, What Guys Think Girls Do at Sleepovers, and when I saw this thumbnail 14 years later, I thought, wait a minute, they were Niki and Gabi? A small world. Their vibe kind of reminds me of Jenna Rose, the My Jeans girl, and I do not make that comparison as an insult. ABC, 1, 2, 3, that girl wore her jeans like me. I bet she's mad, 'cause I look fab. Ha 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 ha, Jack my swag. That song was so iconic, and she did not deserve the hate that she received for that music video, which I had assumed was probably an innocent bat mitzvah gift. But you know what, Jenna is actually giving me more Italian Catholic vibes. She's straddling that fine line between Jersey Jews and Long Island Gentiles. Niki and Gabi uploaded their first video on their official page that you're probably familiar with in 2012. Their content was makeup tutorials, Aria Montgomery inspired hair. Man, remember Pretty Little Liars? I don't. Health and fitness content, generally relatable teen girl stuff. Some of their diet and food videos drew the criticism of Freelala. Do y'all remember her? She was a vegan creator who, like, to be fair, would on occasion make valid critiques of the meat and dairy industry, but she was most known and kind of hated for her call-out videos. If I ever so much as catch a celebrity looking at an animal product, I'm gonna crawl through their window and start beating them with a banana. That accent was veering into Kiwi territory. In 2014, Gabi uploaded an Ariana Grande break-free music video, hair, and makeup tutorial. The beginning of an era. Gabi began to, let's just say, take inspiration from the then high pony addict Ariana Grande's aesthetic and style. A lot of people thought it was giving Skinwalker vibes. She was allegedly changing her hair color to match Ariana's constantly, copying her outfits and her Instagram posts. I cannot confirm which one of them actually posted their photo first. Regardless, it was clear that she was undeniably taking inspiration from Grande. I mean, in my opinion, no Ariana impersonation will ever hold a candle to this girly.
It's me, Jesse and Ari. If they test me, they're sorry. Riders up like a hurry and pull up in this for.
Gabi even uploaded a video where she pretended to be Ariana Grande for a day, with the singer tweeting about the video, saying, "This ain't it." Yeah. But Gabi apologized, and it seems that the conflict has been resolved. The pinnacle of this, however, was of course Gabi being featured in the 2018 music video for Thank You Next. I personally think that the backlash was excessive. I mean, what she was doing was odd, but it was ultimately harmless. Gabi started making her own music in 2018, with her first music video, Flowers, featuring concerningly tiny dog aficionado Paris Hilton. Her debut album, Paintings of Me, was released in 2022. She also created her own personal channel, Fancy Vlogs by Gabi, in 2015, which fit her more soft, pink Chanel No. 5 vibe. Very Scream Queens, but, you know, minus the murder, I assume. Niki also created her own personal channel, Niki DeMar, in 2015. But her vibe is now more artsy, slightly retro and groovy, but still modern. She's like the cool young aunt that lets you drink wine at Thanksgiving. Also love her thumbnails. Niki moved to LA in 2015, while Gabi stayed in Pennsylvania, where they're from, and they both focused on their own channels. With Gabi continuing to make her same kind of content, but Niki diversified hers a bit, branching out and creating an interview series, The Truth About, where she would discuss personal topics with her friends and other influencers. In 2018, Niki opened up about her struggles with an. In 2019, Gabi revealed that her and Niki had actually experienced physical abuse starting from when they were very young. She states that this caused her to try to constantly prove herself to people, especially boyfriends, including one that she dated for 5 years, who not only SA'd her, but cheated on her constantly. Thankfully, both seem to be in better places now. Now, you might have noticed that these two look a little different, and yes, they have been tweaked, which they are open about, even going as far as vlogging a nose job recovery. Gabi opened up about the insecurities that led her to getting fillers starting in 2015 during an episode of Niki's interview series in 2018.
Mom was a beauty queen. She was Miss New Jersey. We grew up...
Runner up, but still.
Yeah. We grew up, like, seeing that and seeing her pictures, and I always wanted to look like Mom, but we grew up looking like Dad. We had the thin lips, the little teeth.
Pale.
I got the dipped down fat nose. I got...
Pale, droopy eyes.
Droopy eyes, bags under my eyes. Not saying Dad's unattractive. Those are all very attractive features on a male.
Exactly.
I grew up with a male face, and I, just like a guy wanting to look like a girl, I wanted to look like a girl.
With Niki beginning to get filler in the following years. Even though this photo in particular that people kept bringing up was actually due to inflammation. I'll get back to that later. The two began to drift apart, which was definitely not helped by Niki's move to LA. They actually had a sit-down therapy session, which was mediated by Gabi Hanna. 2018 Gabi Hanna. I'll give you a summary. There was a lot of unresolved tension and conflict between the two of them. With Niki frustrated because she was the one who was producing all of their videos and acting as the pseudo-manager. Gabi started to get very close with Niki's ex-friends and just a lot of general petty behavior, according to Niki. In my and other people's opinions, Gabi was the one who came off as a bit more immature in this sit-down. However, life is short, and your sister is always going to be your sister, and other things I assume their mother yelled at them. The two have put it behind them, and now they have a joint podcast called The Opposite Twins. They even began uploading to their main channel again, with a lot of competitive sister versus sister stuff. In 2020, Niki came out as bi and also makes music. But unlike Gabi's sound, which is more pop, more pink, more bubblegum, Niki's music is more punk, Y2K inspired, but still pop. I describe the genre as glittery cigarette or bedazzled jewel pen, if that makes sense. If you get it, you get it. I could do what Fantano does. Her EP, Ruined My Life, came out in 2023, and she's now signed to a distribution company. That same year, however, Niki revealed that she was diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder, hence the inflammation that I mentioned earlier. Also in 2023, Niki got some criticism in a now deleted video where she called herself house poor because she spends a lot of her money on her high mortgage, so now she doesn't have clothes shopping money, which prompted people to call her out of touch. Regarding Gabi, she created an OF account and then got suspended after she posted a video of herself as a toddler, kind of like lifting up her clothes and revealing herself to the camera. Playfully, she was a youngin' at the time. But the adult Gabi put the caption, "Won't put my panties on," and put the image behind a $3 paywall, which many people rightfully criticized as not only posting your own CP, but also technically tricking people into consuming it. In 2022, Gabi ended her engagement to Colin Vaught, who she had been dating for like 8 years and was featured a lot in her vlogs. Both still upload to their respective channels as well as their joint one. Juicy Star 07, aka Blair Fowler. Juicy's first upload, you know what? No. Let's not call her Juicy. Blair's first YouTube video was uploaded in 2008. Again, her channel consisted of the standard makeup tutorials, hauls, tags. Remember the pre-customized thumbnail era? It was always just an awkward screenshot. In 2016, her father and her actually came in 7th on The Amazing Race, which is a showcase in American masochism. She also co-wrote 2 books with her sister. Her channel started getting less views by 2017. Around this time, she revealed her past friendship with Shane Dawson, who she was apparently very close to back in 2009, which was made more odd considering that he claims that she was his first love, his words, not mine. He even made a reunion video about it. But people did the math, and Blair would have been 16, 17 at the time, and Shane was 20, 21. During the video that he uploaded to his channel where they reconnected, it seemed that he in the past was super into her, but she wasn't, and this is what ended their friendship.
And it said, Shane Dawson is my boyfriend. And you're like, oh my god, I should get that off.
I was that death stare. I was trying to support your t-shirts at Hot Topic. I didn't
There was
design
other
it.
clients. And then when you left, your friend was like, ah, you guys are so cute.
No.
Thoughts?
It was an odd watch to say the least. It seemed as if he'd never really gotten over her rejection and kind of holds it against her still. But, you know, Shane Dawson acting in a manner that is considered inappropriate is not exactly new. He's consistent, I'll give him that. In the 2017 video, We Need to Talk, she details why she wasn't uploading as much.
Say about what's gone on with YouTube. Since I first started, I've been here for quite a while watching like who's rising and what's going on, and I know that there are a lot of powerhouses behind some of the big YouTubers, agents, managers, publicists, just everything. And I kind of fell down that rabbit hole when I first moved out here to LA, and I had so many different people telling me like what my channel should be and what was gonna make me the most fame and the most money and all this stuff. And I was young and influenced, and I was like, absolutely, like I want that. I want the fame, I want the money. And I kind of just fell out of love of the hobby of YouTube, and I just started looking to it as a job. At the beginning of this year when I broke my arm, I think that's really when I decided like I tried to hold on for so long, but I just wasn't really enjoying videos. And I was like, I'm just not gonna have this be my career anymore. Like I'm gonna find something else.
She went back to school in 2019, and in 2022, she graduated summa cum laude, which means I'm better than you in like French or something, from the O'More College of Architecture and Design at Belmont University. She got married this September, actually, like a few weeks ago, to a man whose name I couldn't find, but he does have a beard, which I like. I thought this anecdote of how they met was adorable.
One Monday I was working from home and decided that I needed a couple things from Walgreens, and there's one probably a mile from my house or so. So I drove over there, walked in to get what I was looking for, and I see a woman staring at me. And, and it turns out that was Blair, but you know, I went on and got my stuff, and then you know, checked out, walked out of the store, and I hear, "Excuse me," and I turn around and it's Blair, and she asks me, "Sorry if this is rude or weird or anything, but are you single?" I said, "I am." She says, "Are you gay?" I said, I'm not. And, and she says, can I have your number? And I said, absolutely.
She still seems to be uploading lifestyle content that's more adult now. Not like explicit, just more refined, grown, and moisturized. And she started to upload fairly frequently again. I did not watch her that often growing up, but she always seemed like a sweet woman. So, you know, God bless you, Blair. Hope you have a lovely marriage. Why am I talking to her like she's watching this? Okay, we're finally done. Did I mention everyone? No. This is, at this point, a 30-page script. Did I mention every single tiny detail in these people's careers and lives? Girl, no, I'm tapping out. I tried to focus on the creators that I might not have really watched all that frequently, but I do remember. You know what I mean? Like, I was aware of their existence. Truth be told, I think I only really consistently watched, like, Michelle Phan, Promise Phan, a bit of Foster, and then I kind of grew out of them and, like, moved on to Bretman Rock and Nella Rose. I know that I didn't mention absolutely every single person who you might have watched, so I'm sorry to, you know, Remy Ashton. There has to be another one. My brain is fried. Sorry to Shane Dawson. He wasn't really a beauty YouTuber, but he sure did wear a lot of foundation. Thank you to r/LA Snark for giving me a bunch of tea that I could not verify. What YouTuber's career trajectory surprised or shocked you the most? Did this video make you feel old? Knowing how many YouTubers had full-blown careers lasting over a decade, and now have channels with millions of subscribers laying dormant, like one of those abandoned malls. It's haunting, really. Like, comment, subscribe, or don't, you know? In which case, you know, I'll cry. Thank you for watching. Shout out to my top patrons. If you would like to donate to my Patreon, click on the link in the description and on screen. I upload new videos every single week. I don't sing on there, but I should. Thank you to my other lovely patrons. Your names should be scrolling on screen as I speak. Bye.